Hi, and welcome to Talk of the Bay. I am Rachel Ann Goodman, and I'm here with Matthew Swinnerton, who is not only the head of Event Santa Cruz, an event organizing and convening organization here in our wonderful town, but he also is now the producer of the Nexties Awards, which is like, well, you'll explain it. What are the Nexties?
You know what, Rachel? I always feel, and my wife always gives me a hard time on this. I never know how to describe what I do. I feel like even your introduction was better than what I do. Um, so the Nexties, it's an 11th year that it's been going on, and it's an award show. Um, and it basically showcases the doers in our community, and not just it's not like so many award shows that do like the best of or the best of this, best of that. We're not the best of, but we're showcasing the people that had a big year the last year. Like it was their big, they did something amazing this year, but at the same time, we see potential in what they're going to do for the next.
So you're
So
wanting to encourage them with an award to keep doing what they're doing on a bigger scale,
what
even.
it is. Like we saw amazing things in you, but we know you can do even better. And that's what a lot of people have said that won the award in the previous years, or the honorees. We like to say honorees, not winners, is that but it kind of gave them the motivation to do more than they were doing. So
Now,
it's
what do they get? A little statuette or some money, or like what? Just a red carpet walk? What are the award parts
they
of the
get to
award?
come to the ceremony and say thank you. No,
That's pretty cool.
there's a big ceremony, of course, on March 31st, but it's very unlike award. It's actually a beer stein, like this huge beer stein that says the Nexties, and it says, Entrepreneur of the Year or Band of the Year or Nonprofit of the Year, whatever the award that they got. It's a big thing they can put on their desk and put pencils in it or whatever they want to do.
Or they could drink beer out of it.
Yes, and that happens at the Nexties quite a bit, especially this one since we're doing it at Woodhouse Brewery. So I'm guessing that's going to be, it's very different than we normally do. We usually do it at the Rio. So we wanted to mix it up a little bit this year. So it's a brewery, so that those wards will be filled.
Nice. Is I hear it's outside. Is that a little bit risky? I'm looking out the window at the rain.
A little bit, yeah. Yes, it's very it shows that it's not going to be raining on Friday, so that is good. But 5 months ago, when we decided, hey, let's do it at a different place, we didn't know that we would be getting this much rain. Like, for years we're like, we don't get rain anymore. And then now we're in like these, like atmospheric rivers every other week. And yeah, we didn't know. So it's going to be cold, I think. So people will dress warmly, but there'll be 400 of us snuggled together. So it should be fine. We'll keep warm by having, good beer and conversation.
And this is the first live one in quite a while because of you know what, whose name we won't mention anymore because we hope it will go away soon. But
Yes.
is that the other reason you decided to schedule it outdoors?
Yes, that was one of the ideas just in case. It's kind of like a backup just in case. But really, we just wanted to do something different. We wanted to have a cool kind of, the Nexties, it's kind of a funny, I don't know, contradiction in some way of it's a gala. People dress up, they look nice. I mean, I'm wearing a tux when I go there, but we kind of, it's geared towards the new up and coming people, and sometimes they're younger and they want to have fun. And so like it's a gala, but it's also has a cool factor to it. And it's so yeah, we just thought a brewery would be kind of a fun, unique place. And Woodhouse Brewery has such a cool feel outside. It's like you got these barrels, it's industrial. It has a really nice, I hate to say vibe to it, but it does. And so we just
And
thought that
where
would
is
be
that located, by the way?
on River Street where like Cost Plus is and Ross. Yeah, it's across the street from there. So it's one of these like hidden gems of breweries. They opened 3 years ago, and it's like everybody knows about it and everybody doesn't know about it. Like when you go there, there's amazing music performances they have there. And it's just like it's this little unfound treasure that the people that know about it, and they've been going. And we were fortunate enough to find it, and we just thought that was a great fit. Happened to be that after we picked the location and we picked the winners, they actually became, because they got nominated, hip hangout of the year. So we feel like we picked a good, we were picked a good place.
Nice. Well, let's talk about the awardees. Is there any kind of parameter that you use about age or any other like demographic that you narrow it down through, or is it just people doing cool things that are activating the community?
You could be 8 or you can be 80. It doesn't really matter. But the parameters is that you were doing something new and exciting. It doesn't matter what age or ethnicity or whatever. It's just are you a cool person that's part of the community? And it's not always on achievement. Like you could for entrepreneur of the year, you could be an amazing entrepreneur that made a huge amount of money and you're super successful. But if you weren't part of the community and giving back and engaging, then you're not going to get the award. And what's different about the Nexties again compared to other I guess award shows or best of whatever is it's not really the best of on you got enough votes or whatever because anybody can get votes to do things. But what we do is we open up the Nexties months in advance for nominations. So we get nominations. We got 3,000 nominations this year,
Wow.
and from there we get a committee of past winners and other people, and we have about 10 people, and they look at those 3,000 votes or nominations, and then we pick who was actually worthwhile of that and who we think deserves. So it's more of not achievement, not of votes, but more of like we feel like you deserve it and the community feels like you deserve it.
And when you look at those votes, I bet there's
So
some
yeah.
names that get multiple nominations, and that probably gets your attention too, right? If some name keeps on being brought up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like that's kind of one of the big, like, okay, they got a bunch of nominations. We should be looking at this a little bit more than others. Sometimes, like, okay, I feel like this one person got all their friends
Right.
to nominate them.
There is that.
Yeah, which is
They
totally
need
fine.
their
I think
friends
that's
to
cool.
vote for them
Yeah,
by and vote.
exactly. It's like I'm fine with that because it shows you have friends that are willing to do it. So that's good. But at the end of the day, like we look at, all that you've done, and we from our group of 10 people, we feel like we come from diverse backgrounds, all of us. So if maybe one of us doesn't know that person, or maybe like five other person, and if five of them do, or one of them, they can kind of fill us in, and just together we feel because I kind of pick diverse people to work on the committee, we get a good idea of like, okay, if none of us know them, maybe they didn't do something or like, so it just helps when you have a group of people that can come with a different background and ideas and knowledge to help pick the winners. Because I do not want to be the person picking, because that also would just be one person. So
That wouldn't be good. Yeah. And are they all from Santa Cruz County?
yeah, and that's a big deal. Is we want to make sure that it is Santa Cruz County. This is not a Santa Cruz award show. It is Santa Cruz County. Yeah, we want to be as diverse as possible. And actually, about diversity, I feel that this year is we've accomplished the biggest amount of diversity I feel that we ever have. And so I just love looking at all the faces of the people that we're honoring. It's like, okay, this is what I envision the Nexties to look like. So I hope that years to come, this is exactly what we see to come.
If you just joined us here on Talk of the Bay, I am Rachel Ann Goodman. I'm speaking with Matthew Swinnerton, head of Event Santa Cruz and director of the Nextie Awards, happening on the 31st of March at the Woodhouse Brewery. And that is a ticketed event, and I'm sure there's a place you can get tickets. And then we're going to talk about who are the awardees this year. So how would people get tickets? And then we'll ask the next question after that.
Well, yeah, you can go to eventsantacruz.com. I'm pretty sure eventsantacruz.com. There's a link in the very center. It says Nexties. So really easy to buy tickets. And we hope to see everybody there. There's actually not that many left at some point. I think at this point, we probably have about 100 tickets left at most. And so usually the week of is when we get, even the day of is when we get our final group. Because right now we're a little over 300 tickets already sold. So yeah, it's a pretty popular event that we have. Yeah, eventsantacruz.com.
And you mentioned people dress up. There aren't too many events in Santa Cruz where you can do that. I have to say, or there
You know
haven't
what
been in the
though?
past.
But it's like Santa Cruz dress up. So like some people, like I mentioned, I'll be wearing a tux. I might be wearing sneakers for shoes. You
Right.
see some people dress up in sequin dresses, but they're wearing like flip flops or Uggs or like I don't know. It's we don't want to really exclude it. You have to leave it fully, but we want to make it look dressy. It's fun to do that once in a while because it's very out of our norm. So I love to see how everybody expresses themselves, even in dress, which usually I don't care about as much in life. But in this event, it's just fun to see how people like showcase like their individuality and differences and how they dress. And some people do wear jeans, and that's fine.
Cool.
But they'll show their little specialness. So whatever people want to dress, you can come.
Matthew approves, whatever it is, Uggs or nothing. Well,
Yes,
maybe not
exactly.
nothing, that'd be cold. So let's go on to the
Well,
winners or the awardees, however you like to refer to them. Tell us about some of these people who are getting special attention in Santa Cruz County for being kind of entrepreneurial, excited, creative types doing new things.
oh man, that's a hard one. So we have 20 awardees or honorees this year. First one that on my website, the first one I see is Mac Nova, and that's always one of my favorites. She's a local musician in town, and this was definitely her year. I mean, she I feel like epitomizes the Nexties in many ways because this year she just blew up on the Santa Cruz music scene. She's an amazing performer, not just a rapper, not just a musician, but a performer. So when you see Macnova, she has a new group called Macnova and the Kings. When you see a performance by her, it's you can't not look. It is just amazing to watch her. And because she comes from such a performance background, and she's brought shows and people to shows like there was one show that she was at as Humblesea Brewery, and she had like 400 people back there in a packed secret garden, and it looked amazing. She came out with this huge lit butterfly costume. I couldn't even. It was just amazing.
So she's a
So,
performance
and
artist
I feel
and
like
not just a musician. She's like does the whole thing. Did she
exactly.
used to be called Makana? Was that her original name? Because I
Yeah, no,
believe
that's her. Yeah, it's Makana.
she was on our station really
Yeah,
early on, and we were very taken by her. And I think it was before she had really become
she
known.
was.
So we found her
Yeah, Makana
first.
Curtis. Yeah, yeah, no, it was a first for sure. And then now she's playing shows. I feel like this year it's Macnova and the Kings, and she's like assembled a group of people, and not just her band, but she's assembled like a community that follows her,
Wow.
and it's like it's the epitome of what we're looking for is like someone that really you embraced your community and they embraced you back.
It's so great to have that energy in town because we've had some amazing musicians move here and create this huge buzz, develop bands and then they move back, to England or wherever. So it's so great to have some homegrown talent that's really causing an excitement here.
Or we have people that are homegrown and then they move to Austin or somewhere like, oh wait, where'd you go?
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
it's
we
exporting
export.
Santa Cruz to the world, so I'm happy with it.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's an exciting pick. And I assume she's going to perform.
Yep, yeah, she's performing. She's got right out of the gate. God, there's going to be little talking from me. I think I'm just going to welcome everybody and then go straight into performances from her. So there's the goal for the Nexties this year is, and I have completely failed in the past, and I think many award show failed in the past or in the present even, of making them too long. And it's like, okay, we do not need to hear, 2 hours plus of people saying thank you. And so, because we're just there to support them and encourage them, and we want to see them, but after the 2 hour point gets so this event is an hour and 15 minutes. So we have a couple of musician guests and they're going to do the one or two songs. It's going to be short. Everybody only says thank you for 1 minute. And we're going to try to keep it, for a certain period of time. And I might be doing, I'm not sure, and I haven't announced this yet, but I think I'm going to do a challenge that if we don't finish in time, something bad has to happen to me, whether I have to get dunked with ice water or I have to do something ridiculous. But I think I'm going to do that just to put some pressure on myself that
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. You've done such a good job organizing. You shouldn't punish yourself. But I do like the idea of leaving them wanting more because when you watch the award ceremonies on television, it's like, oh, come on, get to the
exactly.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. You eventually get bored. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the difference is, though, I think that this is our community. So
Yeah.
even if we are a little long, we really do want to see everybody and we want to hear their stories. And I find it super encouraging and inspiring to hear people's stories. I might not be an artist in the way the artist wins or the performer or somebody, but I see their passion and their excitement, and that gets me excited for doing what I do, even though it's not
Yeah.
exactly so. I don't know. And I think Santa Cruz County, we have so many amazing people that I mean, this year was hard to even pick who we were, out of the 3,000 nominees. So no matter what, everybody always comes inspired and when they leave.
Let's hear a few more of the awardees. We heard MacNova. And what about some of the other category winners?
Well, a big one to my heart is always Entrepreneur of the Year, which is funny because a lot of when you look at these, it seems like we're going to the arts and so forth. But Entrepreneur of the Year, I find it is so interesting. And again, I hate to say the word again, but inspiring because you see people that start with nothing or like, they don't have anything or they had other job, the safety of a job, and they put it all out there to, open up a brewery or do something interesting. And like Nicole from Rootstock Collective, she's Entrepreneur of the Year. And this was, I think, a really easy one for all of us to pick. There's someone like we knew instantly because so she has Rootstock Collective. That's a consignment art shop in on 41st Avenue, and she's just assembled all of these artists together in her shop. So it's more than just look at me or this is what I'm doing, but she's just supporting the community of artists. And so like I just love that aspect of that is what you do is supporting other people. And you just by talking to her, that's what she loves. She loves to help to raise up these artists because as as everybody knows, being an artist is not an easy, sustainable lifestyle to make money off of. As a musician, as an artist, anybody, it's like that's not easy. And so someone that's actually supporting that and making a living on doing that, it's like I think that's perfect. So, and just going into her shop, everybody should go to Rootstock Collective and look at the shop. I feel like when I go in there, all of a sudden my adrenaline goes down. Like I just feel relaxed and at peace. It's such I can't even explain it. The space just looks, it feels good to go in there. Which
Nice.
I'm not sure how she did that, but anyway, and she has a community of people that follow her and she's been a part of a lot of like makers fairs and other things where she showcases her work and everyone else's works. But again, she always puts others first. So that's why she won. So
Cool.
that's Nicole from Rootstock. Do you want another one?
Sure. Give us a few more before we have to go. This is Matthew Swinnerton. He is the head of the Nexties, which happens tomorrow night, so on Friday the 31st.
Okay, this was another easy one. Jessica Yar, she was Foodie of the Year. If you've been in Felton for any time in the last couple of weeks, you've seen that she opened up the Grove, which is her new cafe bakery. My 14-year-old daughter sent me a text with this picture of it, and she said, "This is my new aesthetic place." And I guess that's a 14-year-old word, aesthetics, they use a lot. And she didn't even know that I knew that person. Jessica Yar, actually, her stepdad is the owner of the Bigfoot Museum, which I never
Oh,
knew.
okay. Now
So
we're
she
getting
has like
into
this
some
roots in
history.
Belgium here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But she's been a foodie for years. And I feel, there was an article written about her called what was it said? The Millennial Julia Child. Yeah.
That's
And
high praise indeed. Hard to
yeah, I
live
mean,
up to
she's
that.
an amazing cook, but again, it's like she's been a foodie for the last few years for sure. She's been a cook at like a tech companies. She's been involved. She's Chicken Foot. She's done a bunch of different food endeavors, but this year it felt like it all came together. This and starting off with other things she's done. I can't remember a couple other places that she's had her food last year, and then opening up the Grove. She was one of those at the last foodies of the Nexties said, "Oh, it's Jessica this year, 100%." Everybody voted for her. So Jessica's a great one. Do we have time for one more? Or five more? No, one more. Okay, Isabella Contreras, she's Community Builder of the Year. She created these great events where bringing the community of not just Santa Cruz, but the whole county that have came together, and it was a real focus on bringing the county and bringing diversity, and sometimes doing that of not just I'm having an event, but being thoughtful for the event and like saying this is what I want out of it is really important. That she wanted diversity and she wanted different people, not everybody that looks just like me with gray hair to come, but she wanted young, old, different nationalities and everything. And I just thought like she created a space for many people to feel comfortable in and to come. And so she's done a great job again. That was Isabel Contreras. And I can go list on and on. There's so many great ones.
But the best way is just to show up at the Nexties event, and you'll find out all the rest of the awardees, and you'll get to learn a little about them when you go. Oh, I wanted to save the last few minutes for the other things you do. And anyone who's been downtown on a Friday night knows there's a new thing happening in addition to First Fridays. Can you quickly tell us for downtown aficionados what that's about?
Yes, Downtown Fridays. It's happening, guess what, every Friday. But only until April 14th. We've been doing it for the last 3 months. And it's just to support the local businesses downtown during the winter when it's dark. And like you wouldn't think about coming to downtown sometimes, but there's so much going on besides food. There is a ridiculous amount of entertainment, of music. Like every Friday, you could find five at least, and that's like toy on the low end, five different music acts that you can see. You could even see you can go to see you at Rosie McCann's.
Shock and horror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, like again, five is new. There's always some great music downtown, and there's fun activities to do. So we do that, and then we also have Midtown Fridays, which is starting June 2nd, and that's in Midtown in a parking lot. We've had thousands of people that come every Friday. It's food trucks, bands, like artists. It's my probably one of my favorite events because I feel like I've said this a few times. You have like a 3-year-old and a 90-year-old dancing together. And it's just a fun experience to see the community come together and feel like, hey, we have a place to go together. So anyway, Event Santa Cruz is where all our stuff is, but it's not a bad job.
It sounds like a lot of fun, and I will commend you for getting people together dancing outside. That is the epitome of what community means to all of us, is to be able to celebrate life in community spaces. And there aren't that many community spaces, but the ones you found are really like happening now. So thank you for bringing that to our town. It takes organizing, and often people don't see that behind the scenes. We've organized a few events here at K-Squid, and I can tell you it's quite an art form. So thank you for doing what you do.
Just give me a parking lot and we'll make it happen.
We miss you at K-Squid. If you ever want to come back, the door is always open.
Sign me up. We'll talk.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. Matthew Swinnerton has been our guest here on K-Squid.